You know what time it is. It is time for lunchtime true crime. Child, grab your fork, get your napkin, get your sandwich, put your headphones in, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. But the first most important thing you have to do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click join to become a member if you would like more of all of this delightfulness. Look, we need to talk about Frank and Suzanne Schoffs. I know how to say the name. Like, I've seen it, but I'm like, the pronunciation kind of gets stuck in my mouth. I think the S's, Schoffs? Okay, whatever. You'll be able to follow along. The last name is really not that important. So look, Suzanne was a cute little petite thing living down there in Pennsylvania in like the rural country or whatever. Now listen, they were not rich people, right? They have a lot of money. Okay, you don't have to have a lot of money to have a nice life. So Suzanne, she went on to high school. She met this boy and she was like, oh, look at Frank over there. Isn't he cute? Who names their child Frank? Okay, whatever. So they were high school sweethearts and they were dating and whatever. And the parents were like, I love you. I love you. You like both kids' parents got along. The kids got along. And so when Frank was having trouble at home, Suzanne's mama was like, come on and move in with us, Frank. You like family. So he moved in and I was like, really, girl? You letting your teenage daughter have her boyfriend move into the house? You know she gonna be pregnant in 3 seconds, right? But surprise, surprise, she was not pregnant. Also, they had moved to Pigtown. Pigtown? Who named a town Pigtown? Okay, guess what they have there? Probably lots of pigs. They didn't say that in the episode of Snapped, but I'm just assuming that there were a lot of pigs there. I don't know, unclear. Anyway, so these two are living together while still in high school at her mama's house. Ew. Okay, no judge. Not that much judge. I'm trying not to judge too harshly. Okay, so anyway, as soon as they graduated from high school, 18, 19 years old, they get married. They were not pregnant, which was shocking to me, but I guess birth control. Okay, so whatever. So they get married. Everybody's like, they're the cutest couple. And to celebrate their nice, happy union, they move into a house a few doors down. Oh, now they have their own house. That's so nice. But that used to be Suzanne's grandmother's house. So it was like, okay, mom is up the block. She's living in grandma's old house. Everything is good. And so Frank and Suzanne are having a nice little married life. She goes off and gets herself a little job. He's a mechanic. He's working on cars. Everything is good. Couple years into the marriage, she gets pregnant. And they were like, this is delightful. We got all that free childcare, just 2 houses up. I mean, I don't know that the grandma was giving childcare, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume right here that grandma was giving the free childcare. Fine. So, but money was tight. You know how it is when you got a baby in the house. Money was a little bit tight. And so Frank's best friend moved in. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a plan. They had this attic bedroom. And they were like, we're going to let the best friend move in upstairs. And he's going to help with the rent. Great. Only one day Frank comes home and his best friend and his wife are getting it in. Oops. That's not supposed to go down like that. So Frank was like, okay, obviously, best friend Terry, you are having marital congress with my wife, so I'm gonna go and let you have her. Like, nah, because I'm not putting up with that. And so he moved on out to the countryside, back in the rural area. He was like, I got me a nice mechanic job, got me a new girlfriend, Nikki. We're going to live our happy lives. So everybody's going on with their life. Only, of course, Suzanne gets pregnant again, this time by Terry, the BFF. Suzanne, girl, you messy. Who does this? These two dudes are best friends and you got kids with both of them? I'm looking at you crazy. But okay, that's just my personal judgment of you. You can do whatever you want to with your body parts. It's not my business. So when Frank and Suzanne go to get their divorce, Frank is like, yeah, I want 50-50 custody of my son. That child you have with best friend, that's between y'all. Got nothing to do with me, but I want 50-50 custody of my son. And Suzanne was like, no, I want my baby all to myself. Suzanne, girl, you know that's not fair. But okay, whatever. She was like, I don't want him over at your house that much. I don't want 50-50 custody. And so he was like, right. So I'm going to hire a lawyer because, you know, I got this nice job as a mechanic, because what you're not going to do is take me out of my son's life. And so Suzanne's over at the house talking to her mama and talking to her boyfriend, Terry. I think that Frank is abusing our son. So she goes to the court, back and forth, back and forth. She keeps making these claims to the court, like, he's abusing the child. He's, essaying the child, like, terrible. So the court is like, okay, wait a minute, let's conduct an investigation. They conduct an investigation. They're like, yeah, these claims are meritless. And she's like, it has merit, I promise. So they interview the child, and the child goes to court. And they were like, okay, young man, he's 5 years old now. What happened? And the little boy was like, I just said what my mommy told me to say. Oh, okay. The judge, he didn't like that. He was like, oh, Suzanne, you playing these kind of reindeer games? Great. Now you lose custody. This child is going to go live full time with his father. And the father was like, yay. And the girlfriend was like, yay, a stepson. But whatever. She was willing to roll with it. She was going to raise this other woman's child because Suzanne, the mama, was clearly trash. Meanwhile, Suzanne gets real mad, and she's over at the house. She's talking to her mama. She's talking to her boyfriend, like, how am I going to get my child back? Yes, I lied, and yes, I did terrible things, but I don't think that means I should lose custody of my child. You know what we should do? We should kill Frank. And the mama and the boyfriend was like, right. Is there a plan B? Because I'm thinking there should maybe be a plan B. And Suzanne was like, no. The only thing we could do is hire ourselves a hitman. So she goes out here in the streets of Pigtown. Pigtown? Okay. She goes out here in the streets of Pigtown, and she starts trying to find herself a hitman. Ma'am, there is no hitman yellow pages. You can't just, I think you have to know somebody. It's probably better you do that yourself. Listen, I don't know how the hitman game works, but she was doing it wrong. She promised these local ne'er-do-wells her lady parts and some cash to kill her ex-husband. And they were like, Greg, can you pay us up? Can we get a down payment? Put the tip in? Like, what? Can we? Something? And so she was like, here, I will give you money for drugs. Here's some money for drugs. And please go kill my ex-husband. And the ne'er-do-wells were like, okay, great. And they took the money and they bought the drugs and they didn't go kill her ex-husband. She's like, dang, it's too bad there's not a handbook for how you hire a hitman. Okay, obviously good help is hard to find, so we gonna have to murder him ourselves. And so her boyfriend Terry and her mama was like, ourselves? And so she was like, yeah. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So she hatches out a whole plan, and best friend Terry is like, obviously, he's a terrible dude because he did bad things to this child. What if he does bad things to my child? I'm gonna have to shoot him. So Suzanne gets a rental car and then gives a gun and the rental car to Terry. And Terry drives on off to the rural area where Frank is over there at the garage and fills him full of lead. Nikki, Frank's girlfriend, is like, wait, is that gunshots? Oh, he's dead like a carp on the floor. What else gonna do? So she calls the cops. She sees a car speeding away. The cops show up and she was like, yeah, I saw a car speeding away. And here's the plate number and here's the whatever. The cops got there so fast, they were like, well, wait, we can track this car down. They tracked the car down to the rental place. And so they were like, okay, at some point, this dude's going to have to return the car. So when the car gets returned, they were like, oh, let's not arrest him right here. Let's follow him and see where he goes. So Terry, the BFF, gets out of the rental car, gets into a van with two women, and they go have themselves something to eat. Oh, they have a lovely lunch. What pairs well with murder? You think they had like a turkey melt? Did they have a bologna and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, a big juicy steak? I don't know. I know Lori Vallow Daybell and them, they had tacos after the murder. Not sure what pairs well with murder in this particular case, particularly if you live in Pigtown. I'm thinking maybe a pork sandwich, but that's another topic for another day. So anyway, they're like, okay, are you full? Did you enjoy your lunch? You are now under arrest. And so the cops arrest Terry, the person who they think is the hitman, and Suzanne, who they're like, obviously this idiot is involved, and her mama. So they all go off to jail, and Terry is like, she didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. We are standing firm. And Suzanne looks around the situation and she's like, I do not enjoy prison. This, you know what? Turns out this was a bad idea. So I'm gonna have to throw Terry under the bus. So Terry was like, I love her. We didn't do anything. Little time goes by after he's sitting in prison and he's standing strong. He's like, this prison life? No problem. I grew up in Pigtown. Prison is nothing. And so he'd go to the lawyer's office and he reads the statement. He's like, oh, wait, this heifer has turned on me. Oh, no, No, what I'm not going to do is go down for her crimes. I'm going to get L-whopped behind her stupid behind. Nope. So he goes to court and he was like, yes, Your Honor, I fired the gun. But Suzanne and her mama, they hatched the plan. I was minding my bit. I was going to let my best friend live. But these heifers convinced me that he was abusing his child. He might abuse my child. And so I had to shoot him because, what am I supposed to do? And the judge was like, right. Okay, so we're going to put you in prison, but you're not going to get LWOP'd. You can get parole at some point. And Suzanne was like, he's testifying against me. I'm gonna need a new plan. I know. I'll convince my mother to take the fall, and then I can go on and raise my kids. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So she goes to court, and she's just like, Your Honor, this was my mother's plan. It had nothing to do with me. And they were like, okay, bring the mom in. We're gonna see. Because the mother was like, I will take the fall for my daughter. The mother had told everybody. She told the lawyers or whatever. Right before the mother came to trial, has a heart attack and drops over dead. Oops. Turns out the stress of prison did not agree with her. And so now she's dead like a carp on the floor, only over at the prison and not just like at the mechanic shop. So Suzanne was like, okay, all my other outs did not work out. And then here come the idiots, the local ne'er-do-wells who were like, she offered us her goodies and some cash, and we just took the cash and we got some drugs. We still didn't get the goodies. She gonna pay up on that? And the judge is like, sir, calm down. You see her over there in prison. No, you're not gonna get no goodies from her. And so they were like, okay. So to recap, Miss Suzanne has, her boyfriend has turned on her. Her ex-husband is now dead. She's lost custody of her children, and her mama is dropped dead. And she's like, I don't have anybody else to blame. Yes, I had a baby with my high school sweetheart. Yes, I had a baby with his best friend. I don't have either one of these kids. I don't have custody, and my mom is dead, and Frank is dead. Dang. So she goes to court, and guess what happens? She loses. She blows her case. Heifer got LWOP'd. So now, not only, good news, she don't have to live in Pigtown no more. Bad news, she's in prison in Pennsylvania for the rest of her life. You know what I'm willing to bet? I'm willing to bet that was not part of her plan. Call me crazy. I think that's not what she was planning on. But she was like, I'm skinny and I'm cute. And they were like, great, then we will get you a small prison jumpsuit. Gone over there. You have to find yourself a new wife or a new situation or a new family, whatever. Because Heifer is still in prison for the rest of her life. So look, that is today's lunchtime true crime. Suzanne, pure evil, and she went down. Isn't that a happy ending? Yes, there's some dead people. Yes, one dude went to prison for a very long time, but at least me and you don't have to live in Pigtown. Every cloud has a silver lining. All right, you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.